Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Alexis Bellino deserved a redemption season of RHOC over Tamra Judge. Now that the dust is settling on the Real Housewives of Orange County Season 18, all eyes are on what the long-running Bravo series does next to keep viewers entertained. As monsters and critics previously reported, Alexis Bellino was fired after one season back. While RHOC's avid fanbase has celebrated the news, Alexis' actions were nothing compared to Tamra Judge's, who is expected to remain on the show into Season 19. There's no debate about whether Alexis was a bust during Season 18. Still, she brought plenty of drama for a friend of the Housewives, as she made it her mission to discredit everything Shan Beater had to say about John Jansen. If anything, producers failed Alexis because they had to know how this would go. They brought Alexis back to challenge the more vulnerable Shannon and allowed the returning star to show up to every party with a seemingly endless supply of ammunition to use against her, which explains why viewers immediately sided with Shannon. If RHOC Season 18 taught us anything, it is that viewers connect with underdog stories, and Alexis could have had that kind of storyline if she had gotten another chance to return to the show and try to right those wrongs. Alexis had connections with Tamra, Heather Dubrow, Katie Janela, and Jennifer Pedranti, so there was an opening for her to remain on the cast for another year, even as a part-time cast member. Alexis put in more work than most of the full-time housewives during Season 18, so she earned a callback, which is more than can be said for some of the other women. There were reports that Shannon threatened to walk away if she had to film with Alexis, which generally feeds into a broader problem with the Real Housewives entries. Over the years, many ladies have refused to film with each other, and producers clearly didn't want to part with Shannon because she emerged as the runaway star of Season 18 despite some unsavory things transpiring before filming kicked off. Alexis was delusional in her quest to do John's bidding. Still, we think she could have staged a comeback in Season 19 and allowed more of her personality to shine through without relating everything to Shannon and John. There was so much left on the cutting room floor of Season 18 because we didn't get to a three-dimensional portrayal of Alexis' life nowadays. Producers wanted to perpetuate the narrative that her sole goal was to take down Shannon because it was an easy way to earn Shannon fans when, quite frankly, she didn't deserve them. Looking back on Alexis' firing, it's a shame we'll likely see a redemption season for Tamra instead. Tamra has had many chances to change her ways, but she only does so briefly before her mask slips, and she hurls ridiculous insults about her co-stars again. It's her shtick at this point, and there's no way that will change while she's on the show. The recent three-part reunion signaled that she was doing damage control to secure her spot, but she must think viewers are fools. With another chance, Alexis would be far more entertaining because she could show off her life more now that the drama between John and Shannon is over. What are your thoughts on Alexis being made the scapegoat after Season 18? Let's face it, the Real Housewives of Orange County thrives on evolution. The most memorable housewives aren't necessarily the ones who yell the loudest or throw the most shade, though that never hurts. They're the ones who show growth, vulnerability, and maybe, just maybe, an ounce of humility in the face of chaos. And that's precisely why Alexis Bellino, the so-called Jesus Barbie of yesteryear, deserved a long-overdue redemption season far more than Tamra Judge, whose return felt like pressing rewind on a tape we've all already heard too many times. First, let's talk about Alexis. Her RHOC tenure, Seasons 5 through 8, was filled with opulence, marital discord, questionable acting gigs, and an endless parade of sparkly cross necklaces. She came onto the scene as a walking contradiction, preaching biblical values while living in a house that screamed Versailles meets Newport Beach. But Alexis, unlike some of her more performative castmates, was genuinely trying to figure herself out on camera, And she did it while being relentlessly judged, not just by viewers, but by her fellow housewives. Tamra, for one, was Alexis's harshest critic. The two clashed often, with Tamra famously mocking Alexis's intelligence, her marriage, and even her faith. In many ways, Tamra's cruelty felt mean-spirited rather than entertaining. And while Housewives shows are known for their drama, there's a difference between playful shade and repeated character assassination. Alexis was often on the receiving end of Alexis's post-RAHOC life, and we see a woman who has changed publicly. She divorced Jim Bellino, who was a massive red flag from day one, reclaimed her autonomy, and began redefining herself on her own terms. Her brief appearance on Below Deck showed a more grounded, self-aware Alexis, still glam, still faith-filled, but far less robotic and far more human. That's the kind of growth RHOC claims to want in its cast. A redemption arc isn't just about proving you're not who you used to be. It's about showing that you've learned from your past, and Alexis has done exactly that. Now let's contrast that with Tamra Judge's return. Was it nostalgic? Sure. Was it volatile? Absolutely. But was it new? Not even close. Tamra came back guns blazing, ready to stir the pot, drop F-bombs, and reignite feuds like it was 2013 all over again. The issue? It wasn't 2013. Viewers have evolved. Reality TV has evolved. And while conflict will always be part of the Housewives formula, there's a growing appetite for layered storytelling, especially as these women reach different stages in life. Watching Tamra use the same old tactics, screaming over everyone, pushing people to the edge for the sake of a storyline, and then playing victim, felt tired, like a reboot that didn't fix any of the bugs. And here's the kicker. Tamra already had her redemption arc. When she got baptized and started grappling with her relationships and her health, we saw a glimpse of a more nuanced Tamra. But instead of continuing down that path, she pivoted back into full chaos mode when she rejoined the cast. It's like she took her character development and threw it off a balcony at Heather Dubrow's house. So why should she get another shot at redemption when she's already squandered the one she had? Alexis, on the other hand, hasn't been given that platform. Her return wouldn't have just been about stirring up drama. It would have been about closure, healing, and perhaps mending broken relationships. How would Alexis and Heather interact now that they're both in very different places? Would Alexis and Shannon Beater, two women who've both survived high-profile divorces, find common ground? Could Alexis show newer cast members what it's like to come back stronger after being underestimated for years? And let's not forget the unexpected drama goldmine that is her new relationship with John Jansen, Shannon's ex. That twist alone screams Season 18 Center Orange holder. It's juicy, yes, but it also sets the stage for some deeply emotional storytelling. Alexis didn't steal John. They connected after Shannon, but it still complicates the dynamic in a deliciously uncomfortable way. Unlike Tamra's forced feuds, this drama would be rooted in real-life messiness, not production-driven spats. Moreover, Alexis represents something that RHOC has been missing lately: authentic vulnerability. She's a woman of faith in a very secular world. She's a mother of three navigating love, co-parenting, and her own identity in her 40s. She's not just a trophy wife anymore. She's a whole person, with scars and stories to tell. That kind of multifaceted presence is exactly what the show needs to balance out its frenetic energy. Tamra may be good TV, but Alexis could be great TV for a different reason. She offers emotional depth where Tamra offers volume. She brings genuine awkwardness that's relatable rather than performative. And let's be real, in an era when Bravo is increasingly interested in redemption arcs, just look at the love Garcelle Beauvais, Jenna Kirschenheiter, and even Portia Williams have received. Alexis fits the mold perfectly. There's also a poetic justice to Alexis getting her second chance. For years, she was mocked, dismissed, and shut down. Her castmates labeled her fake, yet they were the ones playing the game harder than anyone else. To see Alexis return now, with a more grounded sense of self, more confidence, and far less to prove, would be the ultimate power move. Not because she's seeking revenge, but because she no longer needs validation from the same women who used to tear her down. In the end, Alexis Bellino's redemption wouldn't just be about flipping the narrative. It would be about proving that the real housewives can be about growth just as much as gossip. And that's reality tea worth watching. So while Tamra brought back the thunder, Alexis could have brought back the soul, and that's why she deserved the orange.